Hello Biznachos, this is a super short tutorial for iOS. I am screen recording from an iPhone 6s. The version is 14.6 and I'm doing this because of a friend, so let's get on it. Okay, so this is the settings app where most of your app's settings are located in here. The first ones you're gonna see is related to system, then Apple applications, then your own or third-party apps. We're gonna diving into notifications, and you're gonna see some very interesting stuff on how to customize your notifications. Here you can see the styles of alerts, and you can customize it app by app. Next, we're gonna check the sounds settings. Here you can toggle and how to change your volume and how to change your ringtone based on ringtone, text tone, new voicemail. I like to keep on keyboard clicks and lock, but it depends on you how to do it. Also, I prefer to keep the change with buttons ring off, because if you turn that on, uh, you will change the ringtone first and then the app's volume. It is super confusing, and that's why I only keep it off. Next, we're going to have a deep dive into Do Not Disturb. This is a very good feature if you're being called or you have notifications late at night, to mute the notifications so that you won't have a disturbance in your sleep. You can keep the repeated calls options if you don't have exceptions, just like you're seeing here. Allow calls from favorites. I put my family in favorites, but repeated calls is also good. But the scammers can also like call you repeatedly, so it will bypass that, just so you know. Next up is the control center, where you can basically have quick settings right down your fingertips. If you slide from downward to uppers, or at the newer iPhones it's from the top right, you have to pull it down. And here you can see that has very interesting toggles. If you long press on them, additional settings will appear to fine-tune your experience. Obviously not all of them, like the QR code or the Shazam app, just tap on it and it does its job. You can totally customize and on the fly change quickly your settings, and also you can add from the list. There's a bunch more, like voice memos or stopwatch or notes or whatever you want to have at quickly at your disposal. Here I chose voice memos and alarms. Shout out to all the people who need lots of alarms to organize your life and to wake up. As you can see, I have a lot more, so yeah, the control center is pretty good of having shortcuts right there when you need it. Alright, now I'm going to demonstrate how to quickly change between your apps and how to go to the multitasking carousel. Just double tap on the home menu, or if you have the newer iPhones, you just have to slide up and hold. Here is the carousel with all the apps that were open, and if you hold in the left edge of the screen, you can quickly go back to the previous app you were you had opened, and if you hold it, it will go back to the carousel mode. Alright, next up is display and brightness. Here you can customize if you want light mode or dark mode. I have it change automatically. Night shift, I really recommend you turn this on. It will be way more easier on your eyes if you're browsing the phone at night. Here you can change the text size. If you have poor eyesight, you can make the writing larger. Next up, we have the security. Here it's either Touch ID or Face ID. I really recommend you use the bio-authentication methods on your iPhone. It's way more easier to use Apple Pay and other services like uh, not inputting your password every time you have to insert the password on your website. Just logging with your Touch ID is very tightly integrated, and honestly it's way super secure because of course it's Apple. It's not Google or Android that has a lot of bad things. I'm gonna do a video on Android as well, but yeah. Next up, the first thing you have to enable is go to the battery section in settings and turn on battery percentage. You really need that, otherwise it's gonna have only the icon and you won't know how much precisely the battery is on your phone. Okay, so like I mentioned, these are the first party apps that Apple provides for your iPhone, all the way through TV provider. From then on, it's the settings for your third party apps. I'll go through quick some first party apps like Mail. You can change how Mail looks, how the Mail application actually looks when you're opening it. You can change the context if you want to be sorted for first by last name or first name. It depends on how your culture is working with the naming conventions. Calendar app, you can change a lot of things in here, especially if you work with this calendar. You can choose what day to start the week to start. You can choose the accounts for Google, Gmail, or whatever other account you have. You can actually add alternate calendars like Chinese calendar, Hebrew, or Islamic calendar if you're having a different religion. And you can actually check the time zone override. It will, all of the events that you were invited by others will be converted to your local time. Notes app, we're gonna go into more detail later, and reminders the same, but be careful here. You can actually have some settings that we won't be seeing in the standalone app, so don't ever forget to check the settings situation here as well. Don't forget also to enable iMessage if you didn't, and send as SMS when iMessage is unavailable. Going on to see the settings for photos, here you can customize your albums. And going fast forward to camera, this is where actually you can change the resolution of the camera. But first, well, let's see on the preserve settings. This is actually if you want to preserve the same mode you used previously. Have to click on camera mode or filter. Recording video is the same. You can choose the resolution from here. I chose frames over resolution, but this only is the setting for the main camera, not the from facing camera. Also slow-mo, same. Also, please check the scan QR codes so that you won't need an additional application to have that. If you want to scan QR codes, just hit on camera and you can do it. Also, there's a setting for mirror front photos if you're into that. That's basically the front facing camera. And also high dynamic range. That's kind of redundant. I keep it off because if you have the keep normal photo setting on, you'll have two pictures of the same moment. So because of that, it will be way more restrictive on your storage option, because it will actually save two photos, one photo without HDR and one photo with HDR, so it's kind of redundant. And here, scrolling me down, is all the third-party apps I have installed in my phone. Alright, now let's talk home screen. This is my home screen, how I customized it. How you put widgets on, you just long press and then you hit the plus button up right, and then here you have the whole list of widgets you can add to your home screen. I have the smart stack and the battery widget on my home screen. You can actually choose whatever you want. For this purpose, I will choose the smart stack, but I scroll down to see all the widgets available. It will also be available the more apps will support the feature, but now it's very limited. And with the smart stack, it's very interesting because you can actually customize it, and it will flip between the things that you have there on the widget. Alright, how to remove a widget. You just click on the X button on the top left side, and it will remove the widget that you inserted. Now I want to show you App Library. It's a new feature in iOS 14 where all your apps are listed here. If you swipe from right to left, there's all the apps that you have on your phone. Alright, now we're gonna have a quick look at Reminders, one of my favorite apps for the iPhone. It is very intuitive, and you can actually set reminders for chores, or if you want to track something. Here I'll give you an example that I have a gym tracker as a reminder. So every day I have a notification on what group muscles should I work on each day. You can see here the list. It's all checked because I'm the boss. Anyway, you can easily create this list, and it will be way better for you to organize everything. Here you can see that I have a reminder to water the flowers. I sometimes forget, so every day at 8:35 p.m. there's comes a notifications for me to water. Of course, you can do that in the calendar app as well, but the reminders app is way more intuitive in my opinion, and it will actually, the notification will stay contrary to the calendar notification. Alright, how to do a new reminder. It's pretty easy, but yet it is very complex. For example, here it is: go and take a break, you deserve it, you're a boss. Now, you can actually have multiple triggers. First, you can trigger it on date, You can trigger it on location, or you can trigger it when you message someone. This is all for users who are using iMessage. It's pretty powerful, but if you don't, if you use only uh, SMS and WhatsApp or Telegram or other than that, it won't work. Here you can see I went full crazy every 999 weeks on Sunday, Monday, wait, hold up, only Sunday, yeah, every Sunday at 999th week, there's a reminder to go and take a break. You can totally do that and much more on Reminders app. Last app that I think all newbies who are buying or using an iPhone need to know the full capability of is, drumroll please, yeah, you guessed it, it's the Notes app. The Notes app, it's pretty powerful, and you can really take your note taking to the next level. You can really customize what are you listing, and it can really help you with everything you want. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating. So here I created a table. You can put 2 columns and how many rows you want in there. You create new rows by clicking on next. One thing I forgot, see how I move the cursor? If you hold on space, you can move the cursor around so that if you make any mistakes, you just go there and quickly change what you misspelled. Alright, now I'm gonna demonstrate how to do check marks. Here you can, it's pretty powerful. You can create check marks on that and play with it. Boom shakalaka, boom laka, no, boom shaka. All right. And of course you can also draw. You can take some notes with your finger if you're down to that. You can scribble something. I don't know what I wrote here. It's a mystery. Yeah. You can totally take notes on on the Notes app. Yep. That's totally what I wanted to write, right? Anyway, you can also change the fonts, but the next feature I want to talk to you about is actually you can scan documents through the Notes app. It is very powerful. You don't need any third-party note-taking apps for that, and it converts to PDF. It is very good, and I really recommend. If you want to scan something, it will brush up the document. It will be on white, super saturated. It will be super good. Alright, that's it. A quick look through Notes. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you found it informative and you learned something new today. I will see you on the next video I produce. Goodbye, bees.